Namaste, namaste, and welcome to this Wednesday morning yoga class. This is our fourth week of doing spring-themed flow of standing postures. And so this week we're going to approach it slightly differently. We've got some bits to add on as well. So come into a comfortable seat and just allow yourself some time to arrive on the mat. It doesn't matter how you sit, as long as you feel that you are grounded somewhere, so perhaps feeling the contact between the feet and the buttocks and the floor or a chair, and allowing that solid foundation to afford you the opportunity to grow your spine upwards, to lengthen perhaps a little bit in the back of the body, but without gripping, without holding. Resting the hands wherever is comfortable, closing the eyes if you feel good doing that, gazing downward if not. Take this moment to step away from the rest of the hubbub of your life. Stepping into this space for the next 90 minutes. A gift to yourself for your health and well-being. Notice how your body is feeling today. Be aware of any of the parts of the body that perhaps need a little extra attention during our limbering or a little care when practicing. Notice the breath that you're breathing right now. Notice the sensation of the air coming in through the nostrils and the breath as it leaves the body. And then on your next exhalation, gently deepening that exhalation, drawing the abdominal muscles gently towards the spine to exhale more fully, and then breathing deeply into the sides of the body, the back, the chest, and slowly and completely breathing out, gently engaging across the navel. Breathing into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Slow, long, full exhalation. As you breathe in, let the breath lift you, finding space, growing the body tall. And as you breathe out, feel a softening across the face, the jaw, the shoulders. Feel grounded down. Breathing in, expand into your space. Breathing out, soften in that space. Allow your breath to fall in this rhythm if it feels comfortable, or allow it to become a background to the rest of your practice. Draw your chin towards your chest, just enough to feel that different relationship that the head now has to gravity. Without striving, without pulling. When you're ready, you can draw your right ear towards your right shoulder, chin back to the chest, left ear to left shoulder. If these neck movements don't suit you, you can do anything that does. And as we roll the head from side to side, exploring those connections between the movements of the head, the neck, the shoulders, chest, and back. Feeling how the movement of the neck affects the jaw, the temple, the ears, the sides of the face. If you want to, you can roll your head in circles. Maybe starting small, exploring more forward and sides than back. Reversing the rotation if you're circling. And then when you're ready, bringing your head back to center. And then exploring with your shoulders. So a little bit of shoulder rolling. You can do one at a time or both together. Starting small intimate movements. Reversing that rotation or swapping to the other side. And then perhaps just one arm at a time to do some bigger movements involving more of the torso, a little firmness in the belly to support. And reversing the rotation on this side as well. Taking your time. If you want to spend a little bit more time on your shoulders today, that's okay. Swapping sides when you're ready. Nice soft in the elbow, allowing the torso to move as you move, allowing the head to move as you move as well. Reversing your rotation. We'll come back and do a little bit more of this when we come back to sitting. But right now we're going to come down onto our backs. So just turning yourself, if you need to, on your mat, uncrossing the legs and rolling yourself down onto your back. Feet nice and wide, maybe with the toes turned out a little if that suits you, arms relaxed away from the body. And just spend a moment to allow your body to arrive here in this shape, this new orientation. And then we'll gently sway the knees from side to side. So we're not trying to get into a twist here, we're just warming up the hip joints, the hip flexors, the abdominal muscles a little bit, perhaps the buttocks a little bit as well. And then when you come to center, drawing your knees towards you, you can start with your hands on your knees if you like, or your shins, knees nice and a reasonable distance apart, and making rotations around the mat. So feeling, particularly in the low back, that massaging effect of moving our bodies in this way. We'll go in the opposite direction as well. And then releasing the hands from the knees, allowing the knees to go in their own direction, perhaps slightly extending through the legs as well. So a little bit like a baby on its back, swimming its legs in the air, just enjoying that process of going in opposite directions, stirring the thighs and the hips, thigh bones rather in hips, going the opposite way as well. And again, massaging across that space at the bottom of the back, perhaps now a little bit into the top of the buttocks. When you're ready, you can bring the feet back to the center, float them one at a time down to the floor. And we're going to keep the left foot down and bend the right knee in and make bigger circles with the right leg on its own. So what we can do here is stabilize a little with the belly muscles and the left foot while we move the right knee. We're going to go in the opposite direction as well. Little softness in the knee. You can have your knee very bent if you prefer. And then trying that also with a straighter leg. So it doesn't need to be absolutely straight. We don't want to lock out the back of the knee itself. Just drawing the leg in a slightly fuller circle and going in both directions as well. Notice if there are any areas where it's a bit clunky, So don't push through those, making your movement a little smaller to accommodate the clunkiness. And then when you're ready, you can draw your knee into your chest, just tuck it towards you for a moment and float the right foot to the floor, swapping sides. We'll bring the left knee, so with a bent knee, the knee making circles in space, the belly muscles firm, firming the right foot into the floor. We'll reverse that rotation as well, nice and soft in the knee as we do. We get different sensations from having the leg bent and the leg extended. We don't need to, but it's balanced to do both. So at the end of this rotation, extending your leg a little, it doesn't need to be straight, but perhaps a little longer. And exploring where feels comfortable for you, where you don't have to drop your right knee out to the right side to compensate. You're using that leg actively and reversing the rotation to go in the opposite direction as well. Working around your clunkiness, don't push through it. When you're ready, you can bend your left knee, hug it towards you, and then float that foot to the floor as well. We'll bring the elbows down by the sides of the body, pressing the backs of the arms, the shoulders down, firming the feet into the floor, particularly the heels, and just gently engaging the back of the head down, peeling the hips up, and then gently releasing the hips down. We'll do 2 more like that, peeling the hips up, releasing the hips down. And if you want to move with your breath, you can. You probably find after some years of practice that happens automatically. But today I'm going to avoid directing your breath quite as much. Okay, so this time we're going to see if we can lift the chest a little bit more first. So pressing the backs of the arms down, pressing the backs of the shoulders down, but feeling that space perhaps between the shoulder blades lift slightly away, engaging the back of the head down. And with that hollow underneath your heart, press into the heels and lift the hips up so that the chest comes towards the chin and releases down. Try and keep that engagement in the upper body, hips up, chest towards chin, and then releasing down. Last time, hips up, pressing into the heels, firming the buttocks, and releasing all the way down. Relax the shoulders, let the arms float away from the body, rest on the floor, and then gently swaying the knees from side to side, but this time going perhaps just that little bit deeper. So with your rotations, with your twists here, just going a little bit further, perhaps feeling the sides of the body really engage as you control this movement through all of the stages of the movement. One more time to each side. And then coming back to the center, we're going to gather the knees into the chest, hug them towards you, just lifting your head towards your knees a little, and then rocking backwards and forwards through the length of your spine. Very good. Just seeing if you can catch yourself on your sit bones at the top of the movement, and then rocking from sit bones to shoulder blades, massaging the back of the body. And then the next time you're up, you can sit cross-legged with the right leg in front of the left. If crossed legs is really tough, then just have the feet on the floor slightly further apart, let the knees roll out to the sides, and that should hopefully open up here a little bit. Or you can sit on something to lift your hips up to give you a bit more space, which helps you to sit in a cross-legged position. Take a moment as you arrive in your seat to feel that grounding again, as we did before, and to let the spine organize itself upwards. Just a couple of deep breaths here. And then with the hands on the knees, we're going to start with circling the body just a few times in each direction. Stirring up, going the opposite way as well. And then coming to center, we're going to reach the arms out to the side, take the right hand down to the right side, and then moving the left shoulder in a little bit more of an exploration of this shoulder movement and how it feels in the body. So a little circling of the shoulder. You can go in the opposite direction as well. You perhaps feel the movement across the ribs of the muscles of the shoulder blade at the back. And then reaching that left arm up, gently opening the chest as you look up, taking the shoulder slightly back, and then rounding through the spine to look down, but not folding all the way over your leg. So rolling up and down. And your movement might be more subtle. That's okay, it doesn't matter. Allow your head to move as you move, wherever is comfortable for your neck. And then come back to your side bend, just feeling a little bounce on that right arm to press you back up to sitting, resting the arms down by the sides. We're going to extend the right leg out to the right and do our figure of eights here, where we come into a Janu Shirshasana and then come back behind us and into a baby wild thing. So we've done these a few times before. If you're unsure, just watching the first one, we're going to do 3 on each side. So allowing your right arm to support, turn the back of your left hand and sweep the back of the left arm towards the right foot. It doesn't matter how far it goes, your knee can be bent. Reaching the left arm up, and placing that left hand behind you, lifting your hips and sweeping your right arm over your head and releasing the hips down. So 2 more like this, reaching the back of the left hand to the right foot and up, little firmness in the belly, pressing down into your left shin, left arm firm in the buttocks as you reach up and over. And we'll do 1 more. We're going to just rest in that baby wild thing for a moment and just feel that strength underneath the body, really pressing down with the shin, the foot on the left side, the left arm, and then releasing the hips down. Here, I'm just shifting to the short end of my mat. We're folding in the right leg, reaching the left hand behind us to pivot into a little squat here. Smashing stuff. We're going to open ourselves into a downward facing dog. It doesn't really matter how you get there. You might want to open your stance a little bit, a bit of paddling through your dog here. Just beginning to waken up particularly the back of the legs, perhaps the Achilles, the calves. Turning your head from side to side or your shoulders from side to side as you need to. And then when you're ready, floating your knees down to the floor. We'll take the hands nice and wide, the knees nice and wide, open up our stance a little bit so we can circle our hips around the mat. So if you don't enjoy this movement, perhaps you want to do a little bit of cat-cow instead. That would be perfect. We'll go in the opposite direction as well. And then we're going to come back to the center. Move the hands and knees perhaps a little closer to each other, knees particularly. Step the right foot forward to the hands, to the outside of the right hand rather. So we become in a lunge position. We want the right foot probably outside of mat width apart, unless you've got a really wide mat, and then circling the hips here. So a circling lunge or hula hooping lunge. Very good. We're going the opposite direction as well. I can't seem to make that work for me today. There we are. Just goes to show. Fantastic stuff. And then keeping your left hand on the mat, you're going to turn to look at your right thigh and just press your right thigh perhaps a little bit away from you as you lean your chest away from you as well. Let me turn so it's maybe easier to see. So a little bit like this. You can turn out your right foot as far as feels comfortable. You can even roll onto the outside edge of the right foot if that feels good in your inner thigh. Just opening your chest towards the ceiling. Try to keep your left heel upwards and not outwards. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then here, you've got your right foot wide, your left arm supporting on the floor. You're going to lift up your left foot and swing it through so that you can end up sitting in Paschimottanasana at the other end of the mat from where you started. Lift the flesh of the buttocks. And here we're going to do octopus. So we're softening the knees. So the knees are nice and bent. And begin by just making ankle circles and letting your knees fall together and apart. Now, if you are familiar with this movement and it encourages your spine to wave as well, then you can wave your spine. And if you feel comfortable, you can also wave your arms in the full octopus. An octopus is a lovely movement for nurturing the hips, but it also tones our core, so it encourages core recruitment of muscles in a very natural way. We're going to go the opposite way as well. Very good. I wasn't going to do this today. I was going to do a different Paschimottanasana variation, but it just goes to show. Fantastic stuff. Okay, so wherever you are, coming back to sitting, your knees can remain as bent as feels comfortable. And we're just going to sit ourselves a little bit forward, hands on the floor, belly pulled in, and a little sway from side to side. So we're not aiming for a really full forward bend here. We're just slightly forward, a little wave of the upper body from side to side, and just feel how that feels in the low back. So if that doesn't feel good, try bending the knees a little bit, see if you've got some more space that way, or come a little higher up. And don't worry, we'll get into a more forward bending variation soon. When you're ready, come up to sitting again. The legs are quite close together. We're going to reach our right hand backwards, slide that hand back and roll onto our tummies, and just rest for a moment, forehead on the back of the hands, toes towards each other, heels apart, just for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then taking the hands very wide at chest height or thereabouts, press the pubic bone and the tops of the feet down, firm the belly, firm the buttocks, and lift your head and chest up a little. Elbows bent, shoulders are rolling down the back, and we're just gently going to sway the upper body from side to side as well here. There we are. So a little swaying low-ish cobra. And then coming all the way down, lift your left toes up behind you and reach your right hand forward. Press off the left hand and roll up to sitting, but keep the left knee bent, and you end up in Janu Shirshasana. That's a bit of a roll. It doesn't matter how you get there. It's all good. We're going to fold our left leg in, and we're ready for the opposite side. Fantastic stuff. So take a moment to arrive back in your seat. Rest your hands. Feel that grounding. Feel the crown of the head lifting. Soften the features of your face. Relax your jaw. Swallow if your tongue is feeling like it's holding tension. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, and we begin with our swaying swaddles to the opposite side. Very good. Just one more in this direction and then rotating the opposite way as well. And then from center, taking the right hand down to the right side, leaning over, no, left hand down to the left side, my bad, leaning over and rolling in that right shoulder this time. These are sort of more subtle movements, smaller, more intimate. Let's go the opposite way as well. See how that movement feels on this side. We're just about to use this arm for our baby wild things. When you're ready, reach the right arm up and over and open your chest. Take the shoulder back, opening the arm slightly, and then roll that elbow and shoulder forward. So rolling backwards and forwards, feeling the sliding of your shoulder blade on the back behind you, perhaps massaging through your upper back, maybe through the sides of the body. Just a couple more. And then in your neutral spot, bouncing on your left elbow to come back up to sitting. And we're going to extend the left leg and do our figure of eights with the arms. So reaching the arms out, taking the back of the right hand, sweeping the back of the right hand down towards the left foot and then up, over the head, press down with the right hand, lift the hips and sweep the left arm up and over. Baby wild thing, lovely job. We'll do two more, sweeping the back of the right hand towards the left leg, soften the knee if you need to, and then pressing that right shin and foot down to lift up into your baby wild thing. This time just holding the wild thing for a moment. As we place that hand down, feeling the support underneath the body, opening the sides of the body, the abdomen, but underneath the body, engaging through the back of the body, the buttocks, even the hamstring, and then releasing down. We're going to fold that left leg in and keep turning to the right, placing the right hand down and uncurling, this time into a little crouching position with the knees off the floor. So hands and feet, knees off the floor, but low down. And if you can, just gently lifting opposite hands and feet off the floor, keeping the back of the body very low, the belly muscles engaged. If two is more difficult, then just lifting the hands and then the feet. And then when you're ready, pressing up into downward facing dog for a gentle release. Padding through your down dog as much as feels comfortable. And here we'll take a waving vinyasa. So you can either do it with your knees down or not. You can reach your hands a little bit more farther forward if you'd like to. So buttocks drop to heels, knees can be on the floor if you need to. Press off the toes as you round through the back, drawing the elbows and the heels of the hands forward to open your chest, elbows and knees soft. And then press back up to downward dog or through a bent knee variation. And then coming to your hands and knee position. Knees are close together. We're going to step the left foot forward to the outside of the left hand and make our hip hula hoopies. Hip hula hoopies, lovely job. A few in this direction. Just stirring those hip bones in their sockets and in the opposite direction as well. And you can move your left foot as much as feels comfortable to do that. You can use your fists instead of your flat palms if that rests your wrists for you. When you're ready, coming back to neutral, just leaving the right hand down, lifting the left hand, letting the left knee come out to the left as much as feels comfortable. You can roll onto the outside edge of that foot. You don't have to, you can keep it on the floor. Making sure your right heel is pointing upwards, just pressing the thigh open and opening your chest as well. Little firmness in the belly. A couple of deep breaths here, maybe just feeling into the hip flexor of the right leg there, inner thigh. And then we're going to roll the foot back to the floor. Keep the right hand down, lift your right leg and step your foot through so you end up back in your Paschimottanasana variation at the end of your mat. Little lift of the fleshy buttocks backwards gives us a bit of support to sit upwards. Bending your knees as much as you need to feel comfortable this time, reaching the arms up in a big wide V shape and keeping the chest lifted and the belly engaged, making circles with the upper body. So if you need to, you can bend your knees and place your feet on the floor if that is helpful for a sensitive low back. And we'll go the opposite way as well, doing whichever practice suits you best. Very good. And then we'll come back to our center, open the chest and fold forward over the legs. Folding to wherever feels comfortable for you. You can come a little bit down, you can do the swaying like we did last time. If you prefer, you can reach towards your toes. Just check your elbows are bent wherever you leave them. Draw your belly muscles in, feel the back of the body lengthen and folding. Taking a few deep breaths, relaxing the face, the shoulders. And then when you're ready, hands back towards the knees or somewhere similar, and just helping yourself upright again. From here, we're straightening or lengthening the left arm back, just sliding back and rolling onto our tummies. You can shift yourself back onto your mat if you like to. Forehead on the back of the hands, toes towards each other, heels apart, and a couple of deep breaths. And again, we're going to take the hands wide, about chest width or chest height or somewhere of that nature, pressing down the pubic bone and the tops of the feet, engaging the belly and the buttocks, lifting the chest up a little bit. Keep looking down and then making circles with your cobra. So stirring your cobra just as you did in Paschimottanasana, but in this different shape. We're going the opposite direction as well. Circling the heart around in the air. And then coming back to the center, you can lower the body a little, lift the right leg, and then point the right toes behind you as you roll yourself up. You end up in Paschimottanasana, the opposite side, and then fold in your left leg. Right leg, left leg. Sorry, girls, I think I've got my lefts and rights muddled there. I hope that you're upright now, and this is all good. So we'll take a moment here, allowing the spine to organize itself upright, wiggling anything that needs wiggling, taking a moment of stillness as well to allow the body to absorb the effect of our limbering work. Relaxing the face, the jaw, swallowing deeply if that helps. And then from here, we're simply going to take the left hand behind us, roll ourselves over into our little crouch, come up into downward dog, take a little paddle in the down dog, and then walk the feet forward to the hands into a standing forward bend, wide leg to begin with, and swaying the upper body or softening through one knee and then the other, just as you do in down dog, relaxing the back of the neck, turning the head yes or shaking the head no if it feels comfortable. Shaking the head no, nodding the head yes even. You know what I mean. When you are ready, you can come back to the center, soften the knees, maybe bend them a little deeper, press into the feet and round through the spine to come up to standing. In standing, if you feel dizzy, hands to namaste, just take the chin towards the chest. If you don't feel dizzy, reach the arms up, look up, draw the palms towards each other, and then bring the hands to the chest. In your Tadasana position with the hands together here, just lifting the chin so that you're looking straight forward, and allow your body to arrive in this new orientation. And from here, we'll go into our standing series. So my feet are quite wide apart. If yours are too, you can bring them a little bit closer together. And I'm going to step back with my right foot first so that I end up practicing along the right side of the mat, and then that's where I will be for the rest of the class. So it will be right side of the mat that I will use. So hopefully that your camera is in the right place. So we're going to start with our feet hip width apart, rolling the palms forward, engaging gently in the buttocks and the belly muscles to lift the body to be nice and tall. As you breathe in, reach the palms forward and up, opening your chest. As you breathe out, draw the hands together, soften the knees and fold into your forward bend, into a forward bend rather. Here, a gentle chest opener, reaching the hands behind the body, either holding wrist to wrist or interlacing the fingers, and lengthening through the arms. Soften the knees for Dvikonasana. Again, if it's helpful to release shoulders and neck, gentle turning of the head or nodding of the head. We're going to release the fingers. Let the fingers gently graze the mat as we sit the hips down behind the heels and reach the arms forward for a very deep squat, lifting in the belly muscles. Here, we're just gently going to bounce, so a little extension and flexion. So lengthening, bending and lengthening the legs. And then as we come down, taking the weight onto the left foot and the ball or the toes of the right foot, step the right leg back as far as feels comfortable, keeping the body still in this orientation, really firm in that left leg. Press through the left foot to come into an upright lunge, firm belly, drawing the shoulders down, opening the chest. And then from here, we're going to lengthen the front leg, take the right heel to the mat, and just release the arms down to the side for a moment. So we end up with that right hip just falling forward a little bit, both heels on the floor, and we're going to end up with long arms and long legs. So if you haven't done this series before, just watching, and I'll show you what we're going to do the first round. Okay, so we're going to move from this almost Virabhadrasana 1 position, bending the front knee, coming up onto the ball of the right foot and pressing the right hand across the body, reaching the left hand behind. So we're in almost a revolving extended side angle pose, and then cartwheel the arms to center and come into a goddess squat. Both feet are turning out. We have to pivot on our toes a little bit here. In this position, we're just gently pressing the weight from one side to the other. You can press the heels off the floor or the toes off the floor, whichever feels comfortable, to explore where we find support in the back of the body, in the back of the legs, in the hips. And then from here, we turn the feet to the left again, lengthen the arms, lengthen the legs, and we do the same thing again. So let's do 2 more of those. Bending the right knee, bending the left knee, coming onto the ball of the right foot. Press the right hand across the body, reach the left hand behind you, and then cartwheel through the hands, press through that left leg, come up to standing into your goddess squat for a little sway from side to side. Then lengthening both legs, turning the toes towards the left, reaching the arms out to the side. Bending the left knee onto the ball of the right foot, press the right hand across the body, reach the left hand behind you, really firm in the belly, and then cartwheeling the arms. And this time, we're going to take the right hand over the left hand, hold onto the shoulders, and you can stay here, or if it feels comfortable, You can bring the backs of the hands or the palms of the hands towards each other. Sink a little deeper and circle the arms and the body twice in each direction. You can go really small. You don't need to go really deep. If you want to go deep, you can. And then when you come up to the center, reaching the arms wide, we're going to turn out the left heel. So that leg is long and the hips now falling the opposite way. Turn out the right toes to point to the opposite end of the mat, and then lengthen both arms and both legs. Reach the arms up, palms coming together. Keeping the palms turning upright, bend your front knee, reach back with your left hand and look over your right hand. One more time, up, bringing the palms together, maybe breathing in here, and breathing out as you press through both feet into warrior two. Now we're going to do our bow warrior. So firm in the left buttock, reaching the left hand forwards. Draw your left hand back, reaching your right arm up into the archer. And then come back to warrior two in the center. Reaching the left hand forward, drawing your bow back, reaching the right arm up, and coming back to center. Okay, so here we're going to add on a little bit. So turning both feet towards the long side of the mat, we'll take our cactus arms, just watching. So you're going to bend the right knee and draw the left elbow towards the right knee, and then press through that right foot to return. Let's do that all together. Okay, bending the right knee, draw the left elbow towards the right knee, stick your bottom really out, and then press through that right foot to return. Let's do two more. Bend the right knee, left elbow to right knee, press through that right foot to return. One more. Bending, stick the bottom out as you twist and fold and return to center. Great stuff. Here we're going to turn both feet towards the right. So you're just pivoting on the heel. The left hip is now falling in a little bit. The right toes are back to pointing towards the right side of the mat. We're going to lift the right arm up for a variation of Trikonasana, Scaravelli variation. So the left hip continues to fall in this direction. We're going to use the left hand around the right ribs to rotate just the ribs towards the long end of the mat. And then fold over your right leg, reaching far, just letting the hand come down wherever is comfortable. We've got no weight in that right hand, reaching the left arm up. Feet either pressing towards each other or pressing apart, lifting in the belly muscles. Keep your head in a nice neutral position. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Turn your top hand and inhale up to the center. We're going to exhale as we reach the left hand down and the right hand up. So a variation of our, triangle pose, reverse triangle. And then coming back to the center, we'll bring the left arm forward so that both hips turn now towards that short end of the mat. Bend the right knee, soft on the left leg as well, pressing off the left foot. We're going to transfer into warrior three, or a flying warrior, she says. Lifting that left heel behind you, really firm in your belly. From here, we're going to bend the back knee forwards. And again, rotate in cactus arms into a twisted dancer pose. And then back through warrior three rather. So extending that left leg behind you. Stepping really lightly to the floor. Coming back to center, turning the feet forwards to the long side of the mat. And we'll just take a gentle forward bend here. Knees as soft as you need. A little swaying from side to side with the legs or the upper body, whatever helps you to release all of that holding effort. And when you're ready, knees bent deeply, rolling up to standing. When you come up to standing, turn the right foot to the right, Both knees nice and soft, and step to the right end of your mat into Tadasana. Take a moment to allow your body to absorb all of that effort. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. So turning the palms forward, breathing in, firming belly and buttocks as you reach the arms up. As you breathe out, palms together, soften the knees and fold into your forward bend. In your forward bend, do anything that feels good, perhaps a little swaying from side to side to begin with. And then if you want to, a chest opener, reaching the arms behind the body, interlacing the fingers, lengthening through the arms. The legs can be as soft as needed. Relax the back of the neck. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Release the hands. Let the fingers graze the mat as you bend the knees deeply. Sit behind the heels, the weight, and reach the hands forward. A little lengthening of the legs and then bending again. So bouncing in your chair pose. And then coming into chair, taking the weight onto the right foot, onto the ball of the left toes, and step the left foot back as far as feels comfortable. Deep breath in and out in this forward position, and then press through both feet to bring the body upright in your lunge for another deep breath in and out. Then firming your left heel to the floor, lengthening through both legs and drawing the arms down. Just for a minute, give them a bit of a rest. So we're in the same position as we were on the previous side. We're going to do our twisting and then cartwheeling. Okay, we do 3. So reaching the arms nice and wide. We're going to come up onto the ball of the left foot as we bend the right knee, press the left hand across the body, reaching the right hand behind us, and then cartwheeling the arms back to standing, toes point out, and we bring ourselves into a goddess squat for a little toes lifting movement from side to side. Back to center, turning both feet to the right, lengthening arms and legs. Bending the right knee, coming onto the left foot, pressing the left hand across the body, and then cartwheeling our arms back to center, toes pointing out, and this time lifting the heels to move from side to side. Why not? Super duper. Turning the feet to the right side, reaching the arms wide, bending the right knee up onto the left foot, press the left hand across the body, and then cartwheeling back to our goddess squat, and this time taking the left arm over the right arm. If you want to, you can bring the backs of the hands or the palms of the hands together. If not, just hold on to the shoulders, and taking 2 rotations in both directions. Firm in the belly, firm in the buttocks. Just opening the shoulders a little bit. Very good. Back to standing, relax the arms. Turn the right heel out to the right, lengthening that right leg, letting the right hip fall in. Turn the left toes to point to the left, and then reach the legs long and the arms together over the head. We're going to bring the arms out wide, palms turned upwards, bending the left knee, warrior 2, and return to that A shape, witch's hat, we call it in children's yoga, and then back to our warrior 2. From warrior 2, really firming in the legs here, firm in the belly and the buttocks, sweep the right hand forward and draw your bow. Right elbow back behind you, reaching up with the left hand. Back to center, we'll do one more like that. Sweep the right hand forward, draw your bow, and come back to center. Here we're adding on a little bit, so we're going to lengthen the front leg and turn both feet to the long side of the mat, cactus arms for our rotations with fold over the left knee. So you bend the left knee deeply, stick your bottom out, and bring the right elbow towards the left knee as you fold and twist, and press through that left leg to come to center. We do 2 more like that. So bending the left knee, rotating the elbow towards that left knee, and then pressing to return. Try to keep your shoulders really wide, elbows broad, chest broad rather. One more. And pressing through to return to center. Here, we're turning both feet to the left for our Trikonasana, triangle variation. So here, we're letting that right hip fall to the right, which is a different alignment from normal. And we're going to reach the left arm up and then use the right hand to revolve the rib cage to that long side of the mat. So the hips moving in, but the shoulders are moving the opposite way. And then we reach the left arm over the left leg and then reach the right arm up behind us. There's no weight into this left hand, firm in the belly, legs, the toes can press away perhaps, but the heels drawing towards each other. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Then turning the palm of the hand, coming up to center. We're going to reach that right hand down, the left arm up as we do a retreating triangle or a reverse triangle. And then come back to center. Now we're going to draw the right hand forward so that our hips and chest turn to look over the left leg. A little softness in that front leg. We're going to come up onto the ball of the right foot and just press ourselves forward into a warrior three variation. So firm in that back heel, feel the buttocks working, feel the belly muscles working. From here, we're softening the standing leg, bending the right knee forward to come into a twisted dancer pose with the left elbow coming towards the right knee. And then back through warrior three or flying warrior, if you want to call it that. Oop, touching your toes down, should you need to. Wobbling is always good. And then the lightest of touches is you place your right foot down, squaring the hips to the long side of the mat, toes pointing forward, and just simply folding into a forward bend. A little swaying on the knees from side to side, or just swaying of the upper body from side to side, whatever feels good. And then bending the knees really deeply, we're going to roll back up to standing. Now here, we normally would step to the end of the mat to do this through again, perhaps, or to come into Tadasana for a rest, but we're actually going to do just the triangle part onwards to each side again. So starting with the feet facing forward, cactus arms. We're going to bend the right knee and twist and fold over that right knee. We're going to do it just once. So bending the right knee, left elbow to right knee, sticking the bottom out behind you, and then press through the right foot to come back up to standing. Turn the toes to the right. Let the left hip fall to the right. Lift the right arm up. Use the left hand to just turn the rib cage towards the long side of the mat, and then lengthen over your right leg, reaching the left arm up at the same time for a deep breath in and out in Trikonasana. Turn your left palm, press yourself up to standing, and as you do, turn to look at your front hand, reach your left hand back down behind you. And then come to upright, bring the left hand forward, and we'll do that little movement into our warrior three. So we soften the right leg, we're pressing off the ball of the left toes to send ourselves forward into warrior three, lifting the heel behind you, a little softness in that standing leg so it's not locked straight, and then gently and carefully with control, bringing the left knee forward, the right elbow towards the left knee as we twist, and we're going back through warrior three, reaching arms and legs away from each other, stepping gently down and returning to the side of the mat. We do the whole thing to the other side. So cactus arms, left knee bends, bending the left knee, sticking the bottom out behind us, taking just the right elbow towards the left knee, press through that leg to come to standing. Turn the feet to the left. Let the right hip fall in, and then use your right hand to rotate just your upper torso back to the long side of the mat. Reach your left arm over your left leg, reaching the right arm up firm in the belly and the buttocks for a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Turn your right palm, press up to standing, and as you do, turn to look at your left hand as it goes up, right hand going down. Beautiful stretch of the side of the body. Come back to the center, reach the right hand forward to rotate your hips forward, and then using that soft bounce, that pliability we've got in our joints, we've been building it all through this month, to reach forward, taking your weight onto your left side. Don't lock that leg, lengthen the right heel behind you, firm in belly and buttocks, and then softly drawing back, right knee forward, turning the left elbow towards the right knee, twisted dancer pose, and returning to warrior three. As light as you can to step that right foot to the floor and turn to the center for another forward fold over the legs. And here in our forward fold, just a gentle swaying again. So doing anything that feels good. If you want to, you can widen your legs a little bit wider to take the crown of the head towards the floor, or just because you'd like to do a little bit of a deeper forward bend. It doesn't matter what you choose. Just taking a few minutes. And then from here, we're actually going to soften the knees and roll up one vertebra at a time. And we're going to transition gently by either scissoring the feet together or hopping the feet together to Tadasana, mountain pose. Just rest for a moment, allow your body to absorb all of that information. Relax the face, the jaw, the tongue, the shoulders. Let the belly and the buttocks relax for a moment. Soften the back of the knees if you need to. And then when you're ready, choosing your patch of wall, as everyone here has a patch of wall to work with, or if you don't have a patch of wall, using a sofa or a chair or a freestanding legs up the wall variation. Take your block with you, you will need it. So getting close to your patch of wall, we're going to swing our legs up and our torsos down. And if you can, get your bottom quite close to the wall without any strain on the backs of your legs. So if you know you're tight in the back of the body, this particular class is great because it helps, it's really strengthening for that part of the body. So if you already are strong there, it maybe feels quite good. But if you're tight in the back of the body, then you might need a little bit more space between your buttocks and the wall for it to feel comfortable on your legs. A little softness in the knees here, and blocks just to one side for a moment. Rest the arms either away from the body or over the head if it feels comfortable. Palms turned upwards. And allow yourself to arrive in this very different orientation with gravity. Soften the features of your face, your tongue and jaw, your shoulders, abdominal muscles, buttocks. Feel the back of the neck and that space between the shoulder blades releasing as well. This posture is really good for calming the nervous system. So it's great if you feel a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit scattered, or if you have trouble sleeping. And particularly after standing practice, we feel the weight of the legs is carried into the pelvis, into the spine very differently than when we're standing and the legs are carrying the weight of the pelvis and the spine themselves. So you can stay in this variation if you'd like to. It's great for resting the venous return. Just be careful not to have any tension in your feet. You can give your toes a wiggle to make sure, and hopefully they are looking quite free of blood now. There's probably a little paleness to them. So feet placed against the wall. If you want to, take your block, roll your hips up and just place your block underneath the back of the sacrum. So not underneath the low back. It's supporting the back of the hips and the buttocks as opposed to any part of the spine. And then relaxing the arms again, relaxing the legs, soften this in the knees if you need to. And perhaps here just gently waving the nose from side to side to settle any tension out of the back of the neck. And then in your center, taking some of those long, deep breaths like we did at the beginning of the class. Soften the face, the jaw, and the shoulders. At the end of your next exhalation, just preparing to move. So if you've propped yourself up, feet back onto the wall, lifting the hips only enough just to slide that block out and release your hips down. And I'd like everyone to give themselves a little bit more space from the wall than they previously had. So here we're going to do a supine, lying down, a reclining pigeon variation by crossing the right ankle over the left leg and bending the left foot so that the left foot is supported, bending the left knee so the left foot is supported on the wall. And then on the left heel, pivoting, just gently swaying your left knee from side to side and allowing your right leg to follow. If you want to give yourself even more space, you can, so that you can do a little bit more movement here with your pigeon pose. And then if you'd like to, you can take your left foot off the wall and make little circles with your left knee, your right hip opening as you do. And go the opposite way as well. And when you're ready, you can relax your left foot onto the wall and just let your left leg turn to the left as much as feels comfortable and right leg to follow. If it doesn't feel good, just come back and hold the classic pigeon in the center. And then a little firmness in the belly to return to center, uncross the legs. And we'll do the same thing to the opposite side. So crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, giving yourself as much room as feels comfortable, and a little flexion in both feet, not too flexed, but just a little, to sway the right knee from side to side. Rotating on your heel is probably the easiest way to do it. So you begin to feel that length happening over the left buttocks, the left hip. And then if you'd like to, you can float the right knee towards you and make circles or indeed bigger sways from side to side. And remember to go the opposite way as well. Then you can rest your right foot on the floor, on the wall, sorry, and then let your right knee come to the right and the left leg to follow. If that feels like a useful movement, that's great. If it doesn't suit you for whatever reason, that's okay. Just come back to center and hold your classic pigeon. And then a little firmness in the belly to return to the center, uncrossing the legs. And then half happy baby pose. So using your left foot on the wall, draw your right knee back towards the right armpit and hold on to the right foot or the ankle or the shin to draw your knee towards the right side of the torso, but have your foot as if it was standing on the ceiling above you. So parallel sole of the foot. If holding the outside of your foot feels super comfortable and you want to try something a bit different, you can hold the inside of your foot, and that slightly changes the feeling in the shoulders, but choosing whichever one feels best for you. You can stabilize with your left foot on the wall if it feels comfortable, and relaxing as much as you can the effort from the other parts of the body. Take just one more deep breath. And then gently releasing that foot, lengthening the leg up the wall a little, perhaps just wiggling, waving the sole of the foot from side to side. And then stabilizing with the sole of the right foot on the wall, bending the left knee towards you, drawing the left knee towards the left side of the torso and the armpit by holding onto the ankle, the shin, or the sole of the foot itself. Stabilizing with your right foot, relaxing everything you can. And if you want to, you can try holding the inside of the foot as opposed to the outside. Do whatever feels good for you. I think that feels better on this side than it did on the other. You might find your two sides are different as well. Relax as much effort as you can from your face, your shoulders, your tongue and jaw. One more deep breath. And then gently releasing your foot and letting your leg be long up the wall, the heel of the foot on the wall, and just waving the sole of your foot from side to side. Very good. So I'd like to do a little bit more winding down, but in a free space on the floor. But if you would like to do legs up the wall for relaxation, you might want to leave your mat where it is so that you can come back to it, which is all good, but you don't have to. I'm just going to move myself back into the center of the space. And right now, if you want to put on warm clothing and get your blanket to be close by, then that might be useful too. I'm going to do that while we're here. just as we go into a little bit more of a wind down towards relaxation. So when you're ready, you can join me on your back with your knees bent into your chest and just holding onto the knees for a little stirring of the knees nice and far apart, massaging out that low back space again, just as we did at the beginning of the class, going in both directions. And then floating the feet to the floor one at a time, keeping the feet quite wide, arms relaxed away from the body, and just gently swaying the knees a little from side to side to begin with. When you're ready, you can let the knees come all the way down to the left side. So it might take you a few extra sways to get there, that's no problem at all. When the knees come down on the left side, reaching the right arm past the right ear, left arm just relaxed where it is. You might find that this is enough. If you'd like to do a little bit more, you can press the inner right thigh and foot towards the floor. You can even rest your left foot on top of your right thigh. Wherever you end up, just taking a couple of deep breaths. Whenever you're doing that, try to relax as much as you can, all of the effort in the body. And then uncrossing the legs if they're crossed, returning the right arm to a neutral position, firm in the belly, to return the knees to center, a little sway from one side to the other. And then allowing the knees to come down on the right side. Lift the left arm alongside the left side of the head or the ear. If you want to do more, you can encourage the inner left thigh and foot towards the floor. And if you want to do more still, if you've got space to, resting the right foot on top of the left thigh. Wherever you get to, taking some deep breaths. Softening the body and the face. When you're ready to come out, uncrossing the legs if they're crossed. Return the left arm to a neutral spot, firm the belly, bring the knees back to the center. And then with your block, raising the hips again, sliding the block on its lowest orientation underneath the hips, the back of the pelvis, the sacrum, and then extending your legs, if you want to, far out to the sides, not too far, maybe just over mat width apart, relaxing the arms away from the body. If it doesn't feel so good with the legs extended, you can do one leg at a time for a few breaths on each side, or keep the knees bent, feet on the floor. Wherever you get to, relaxing the face and the body, the chest, the tongue, and particularly here, the abdominal muscles. Let them be really soft. Just taking one more long, deep breath. If you want to stay here for longer, if you find it really useful, then of course you can. But if you're ready to come out, Firming the belly muscles, drawing the toes back to the center, sliding the feet in one at a time. And then when you're ready, gently lifting the hips, only enough to remove that block and then let them settle down to the mat again. And from here into relaxation. So making any adjustments or grabbing blocks, not blocks, blankets, bolsters, or simply sliding your legs long. And you may be surprised to find that you don't really need anything underneath the backs of the legs after doing that supported bridge pose. Really softens the tension from the low back. So you can do legs up the wall if you like, or Shavasana. Arms wide from the body with the palms turned upwards. Whichever position you find yourself in, just gently swaying your nose from side to side a couple of times. And as you do, maybe slowing that down so that you feel the sides of the neck, just as we did at the beginning of the class. Feel the connections. When you're ready, you can bring your head back to center. Maybe take a deep swallow to relax the tongue, the jaw. Find a comfortable spot and bring your body to stillness. Take a deep breath in and sigh out through your mouth. Repeat 3 more times. A deep breath in. Let all of your effort go. A deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. Last breath in and surrender down into your mat. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall away into silence. Take your awareness to your forehead. Feel it soften, the space between your eyebrows spreading. The area around your eyes relaxing. Your mouth, tongue, jaw releasing. Become aware of the back of the body. Allow the whole of the back of the body to feel heavy, warm, supported, releasing down. Move your awareness to the front of your body. Feel the touch of air on your face. The sensation of holding space in the palms of the hands. Draw your awareness to your breathing and find a deep, gentle, slow rhythm of breath. With each breath in, drawing in light, energy, harmony, and with each breath out, releasing tension fatigue and discomfort. Each breath in draws in energy, harmony, vitality. Each breath out, releasing tension, fatigue, and discomfort. Allow your breath to fall in that rhythm for the remainder of your relaxation, softening a little deeper with every exhalation. again to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your fingers and your toes, giving them a little wiggle, maybe rolling the wrists and the ankles. And you feel ready, you take a long deep breath in and stretch the arms and the legs. Maybe stretching the face and a yawn. Stretch the sides of the body. Ripple your stretch through any parts of the body that feel good. And when you're ready, you can gather your knees in towards you. And just hug them towards you, making any movements that feel good to the spine. Just having the effect of slightly containing our energy after all of that expansion during our practice. When you're ready, you can roll to one side and take a moment on your side, letting your body come around a little at a time. And then whenever you're ready, coming into any comfortable seated position, just bringing the hands to rest over the center of the chest. Take this moment to feel how your body feels now. To notice your breath now. And then to take these good feelings with you for the rest of your week. Gently opening your eyes when you're ready. Thank you for joining me with this practice. Namaste, guys.